Ooh, is it Halloween time? Well, we've only got a month left, so hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Knuckles the Echidna here, and I'm back from the forms of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for more Let's Play of, or in this case, some more of the Pac-Man Party board playthroughs. So, I really do apologize about the forms of that specific delay again. That's only because I'll discuss more to that as soon as we're able to get things started with this video. So, anyways though, welcome back to more Let's Play of the forms of Pac-Man Party for the Nintendo Wii/Nintendo 3DS. So, do you remember previously that we've actually did manage to explore through Mirage Oasis, and I did manage to select Patra on that particular board, because why the heck not? And today for this episode, or in this case particularly for today, is the fact that we're going to be going through the third board in this game, known as Spooky Hollow. Or if you ever play this on story mode, then this is the board you're going to be playing through for the majority of story mode. Because as far as you're already aware, the final board, if you ever played story mode, is definitely Celebration Avenue. So even then, if that's the case, then you can probably tell how we're going to be going through board by board based off from story mode. So as you can see, I'm going to be using Blinky of one of those 4 Pac-Man ghosts that I've managed to bring up. Of course, we did have the returning of the forms of Clyde and Pinky ever since in Mirage Oasis, but the difference is this time around though, I feel like in a spooky themed environment, and plus we're getting quite close to Halloween at this point. Granted though, we've only got about a month left at this point now, so we figure we might actually go ahead and select those 4 Pac-Man ghosts, and why not, just in case if this is all Halloween themed based. And because of that, tomorrow October's starting, so even then though, and also in addition to that though, as I mentioned this before, we've only got about a month left before Halloween starts, and I believe from specific days of how much days does it usually retains Halloween Day, my guessing as far as I'm concerned is definitely 31 days left. So anyways though, and as far as you can see on screen, I'm going to be using Blinky on this board just because I feel like it. Plus he was the leader of the forms of one of those ghosts, and plus he is more of a tougher ghost than I ever think about it. Because what I found is kind of strange and iffy about any forms of Pac-Man World 2, they've managed to make able to actually name Blinky Clyde instead of like just Blinky. So even then, it makes it a little bit more confusing than that, but either way. So as special event, as you can see, the special event, sorry, a little bit of attention to right there, in this board is the fact that as you can see, we're gonna have to go walk past for that little pumpkin. And what you can do with it is the fact that you can able to actually craft the forms of the actual pumpkin itself. So you can know that again, when every single opponent managed to able to actually bypass the pumpkin, like let's just say about 8 or so times, then something else will bad happening. So you can know that we're probably not going to get more details onto that, because as far as I'm aware, as you can probably guys can clearly tell, the target amounts with the cookies amount is going to be roughly the same thing as Greenwood Grove, except the fact that this board might be a little bit fast and a bit quicker to able to finish with, because as you can tell, I've recently managed to able to go myself a little bit of a higher number. Now, if you couldn't tell, that because of how the fact that since I'm recently breathing for this quite ridiculously fast, and yeah, as far as I can say about this for the most part. So the reason why we actually just managed to able to take once again a bit of a delay of this particular Let's Play so far, this is most likely because of how the fact that recently Piglet is almost going to be finishing up with the forms of Kirby's Epic Yarn Let's Play. In fact, he's already done all of the levels on that game now, so all he needs now is just basically he needs to concentrate on every single remaining challenges based off of what class he was in. So even then though, that should be expected so anyways, I've got a 6 right there, in case if I need some more castles to build with, so even then though, expecting for this matter, so yeah. So there goes both Pinky and Clyde are about to be able to do in this little cinematic scene with that specific crafted the actual like pumpkin and all that stuff, and eventually it might get his nose. Yep, there we go, there's his nose. And eventually when it gets to its mouth, and then once you bypass the actual pumpkin, once the actual true face has been revealed, then, you know, the actual events will happen. So, Oh yeah, just like in the forms of the actual snakes in Greenwood Grove, sometimes it actually leads you to the forms of that specific alternative route, as you can see right there. And of course, much like in the forms of Mario Party Island Tour, and especially notable for Mario Party 10, after when you land on that specific space, if you manage to get into the different space instead of the exact space you want, it doesn't affect on the actual, like, the second time you land on a different space, unlike the forms of Mario Party 9. So even then, that makes it very obvious there. So, of course, we have ourselves the first minigame in this board. So even then, expecting so, we've only just got one battle to deal with right there. So let's see what minigame are we going to be dealing with right here. In fact, on my own time, I've managed to able to recently done, or in this case, edit this up, actually. But in forms of some of those minigames we haven't played yet, in the forms of Pac-Man Party itself, just like in the forms of how it does it in, you know, in pretty much in every single Mario Party Let's Plays. I think I should probably, still establish that from this before. I think we should probably do a redo Let's Plays of old school Mario Party games, 1 through, 8. Like, I was also able to count, Mario Party 2 as a redo Let's Play as well, because, well, I've heard, good things about it, and oftentimes bad things about it. The good thing about it is the fact that, oh, you gotta be kidding me. The fact of the matter is, though, is that the quality itself is very, very good. However, though, the audio mixing, or the sound mixing is pretty darn, bad. Even especially noticeable how the fact that it's almost like very similar to how it does in Sonic Adventure 2, sound mixing issues and all that stuff. So even then, that's why we thought we're actually going to be going through every single Mario Party games, redoing Let's Plays as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure about Mario Party 10 though, to make the quality even much more improvements, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But even then, no, that could work for some time. But not Mario Party 9 though, because Mario Party 9 Let's Play, as far as the actual art channel is concerned, it's gone super well, even by the forms of the actual views, especially with this Step It Up mode, and especially noticeable with the forms of Boss Rush mode, and I think that's about it other than that. Even then though, that is going super well, I should probably say this much, but I digress. So, yeah, not much else I can really say about this for this point in time, folks, because other than that, oh, of course, we got another minigame to do with right there. In fact, the amount of minigames we got left, actually, by the forms if we actually did showcase off every single minigames in Pac-Man Party, I believe there are 19 minigames left before we're able to actually show everything off. So even then, though, yeah, pretty standard stuff, though, really. However, though, I will admit, though, right away, is that before I start to be doing a redo Let's Play of both Mario Party games 1 through 8, I've decided to able to actually buy myself the forms of that, you know, the AV cables to the HDMI converter. I'm also able to grab that. Because of that, I've heard from several people that it did actually work with the forms of the actual capture card recording. So even then, I should probably give that a go. Anyways, we got ourselves food Javelin cookout again. So even then, we've already played this before, which I'm presuming that's what this is. Yeah, I think we've already played this before. So even then, I'm not exactly sure I'm effective on this because obviously I do need to worry about Pinky herself, because obviously that I said this before about the fact that she is easily gonna catch up from my scores and mounts, which I'm hoping I won't lose to her though. Come on. Okay, that's fine. Because as you can see, that I've pretty much tied with her. So even then though, and as a result, nothing will happen in tie mode. So even then though, yeah, that's fine. I'll just let Inky win this, but the thing is though, is that he might actually get himself his power cookie no matter what. So, expecting so, I'll be like, whatever. I'm fine with that for now. So anyways though, since we're in ties, even though nothing really happened, so we still pretty much function, or we in this case, just pretty much gonna stay there perfectly intact at the moment. So anyways, let's see what's next. So we have, I think we've played this before actually, because even then, as far as I'm aware, originally I did manage to record this pretty much, but I seems to get lost track of myself, you know. So because of that though, I'm feeling quite better now than the forms of how it does it from previously, but it's just that I'm not exactly perfect by any means just yet though, because of how the fact that, well, when it comes to trying to able to get rid of this stupid bad cop and all that stuff, because I know it's a little bit more bad and all that stuff, which I will admit the right away is practically common. And yeah, as far as I can usually say about this, other than that. So, anyways, though, again, not much else to say, because even then, yeah, I'm quite surprised. We're almost nearly towards the end of 2018 before we're moving on to 2019 already from the start. So anyways, we got another power cookie right there, but I don't know about if I was going to be setting up the Halloween this year, honestly, because of the fact that we're going to be doing a upcoming updated video coming up soon, and doing at some point in October, so I want to let you guys know about this, but even then, it's pretty much a top secret for now on, though. So anyway, so I'm pretty much almost nearly towards the beginning portion of the board, so I might as well able to go after, let's just say 8 or 3. It's kind of hard to tell for this. Alright, as long as I'm fine with 8, because I need to give myself a whole bunch of cookies, and especially with the addition to those cookie bonuses here and there as well, so that I should able to actually decide to able to go ahead and naturally just trying to land it on here, because even then though, that's what strategy is for. But sometimes though, that strategy doesn't seem to, well, I don't know about that, but anyways. And another thing we'd like to talk about is the fact though, since that we've only got ourselves about 5 more days to go actually, before Super Mario Party is about to be released on the Nintendo Switch. In fact, what I found is kind of odd about it is the fact that someone out there did manage to able to claim the early copy of the game of Super Mario Party, and they've decided able to actually just hit it onto the forums of the eBay.com, in this case the Americans website of the forums of eBay account, and for some reason the actual like Super Mario Party early game cartridge and all that stuff, somehow the price on that specific copy is way too freaking pricey, like $7 million, which I was like, holy crap, I can never seem to able to buy that. I much rather prefer just get it for myself, even for the forms of like the original physical version of the UK's packaging. So anyways though, I think we see this minigame before, Steven Nando. Jeez, how many times do we have to play this minigame though? Because we've already played it several times in the forms of back in Mirage Oasis. Even then, that makes it a little bit obvious for this point. So anyways though, let's keep on pressing those buttons and occasionally shake the flute, or in this case the Wii remote of all things, until we're able to actually just continuously going up, and hopefully we should be good to go for this point. So yeah, there we go. And another thing I want to talk about, thanks to the forms of the Hasbro YouTube account, they've recently managed to able to announce a new trailer of the forms of the My Little Pony movie special, and that's the forms of the best gift ever by the forms of the Christmas special. I'm really looking forward to that special actually, especially I'm still a brony and even a My Little Pony fan. I'm sure many of you bronies are actually interested with this, and I'm sure many people already know about this for every single bronies out there. Then, because of that though, I am so looking forward to able to see that particular special of the, that specific, thing. And even then though, as far as I've noticed, is the fact that, I'm pursuing the actual, like, even though the DVD, UK's release date is still going to happen, but it's gonna get delayed a little bit until 26th of November, instead of, like, the 5th of November, which I understand that because of the actual Christmas is getting closer, so even then though, that would be my priority of the forms of the Christmas countdown. Sorry for a little bit of a tangent right there because of my throat is all dried up again, but as a result, I'm still fine as it is. Still, I'm very bad at this minigame though, by the way, because again, those Pachicos is trying to able to mess me up with all this depth perception, even my 2D platforming department right there, but that's fine, because I'm not even defending my castle, so even then though, who's the winner again? Oh, okay, Clyde did manage to able to claim Inky's castle after all, so oh well, whatever. So yeah, not much else, you know, to say about this. So even then, though, there's not much else I could really talk for everything else at this point. So even then, because I'm still a little bit rusty with the forms of news and updates and all that stuff. Because I'm sure enough, Piglet already mentioned about this and during the Likes of in Kirby's Epic Yarn Let's Play. I gotta tell you guys now. So, I might as well go after 4 again, because I feel like, getting myself some bit of a good, items here and there, but, even then I just need to weigh myself patiently. Oh shoot, there we go. Oh wow, I feel a little bit nerve-wracking at this point, because if I missed one shot at it, sometimes the actual, like, bullet reaction timing, or in this case, the actual, like, the bullet, reloaded, timer gets a little bit slower, I will feel like it. But even then, no. Yeah, as far as I can say about it. Seriously, those 2 ghosts are going after my bigger castle right there, which I get the point because of how the fact that they really want it so badly, but even then, no, that's as far as I can say. Alright, so looks like I've got myself another 500 cookies right there, so I think that's actually very good. And yeah, and as a result, as you can see that, as far as I've mentioned this before, my target amount is now 15,000 cookies. So because of that, unlike the ones in Mirage Oasis, the fact that the cookies amount is extremely huge and all that stuff, because of how the fact that Mirage Oasis is the hugest board in the entire game so far. And yeah, as far as I can say about it. Alright, let's see what's next for the minigames department. Oh, this is a new one. We have ourselves the, well, Snowball Sumo. Roll around to make your snowball bigger and knock players off the cliff. The last player standing wins. So, basically, you just have to tilt the Wii remote in a corresponding direction, and then when you do with that, then you can able to shove these, your players out. So even then, self-explanatory for the most part though, but the only thing you need to able to notice that is the fact that, if you do not even actually push your opponents off the cliff, there's also a secondary goal, and that's the forms of how the fact that, or the second condition of the forms of winning this minigame is the fact that you can actually just manage to create your snowball bigger. I think that's the ultimate purposes of this minigame is concerned. And once you make your snowball even much more bigger than the other 2, as you can tell right there, then you weren't able to win that automatically. So even then though, yeah, I don't have exactly that much choice of this, honestly, so I thought to myself, yeah, I might as well able to create even much more bigger snowball. I honestly recommend not running into each other most of the time, because sometimes your snowball were able to actually just downgrade the size a little bit. So even then though, as you can see, I've got my snowball even much more bigger than everyone else, so I will pretty much win that minigame no problem. So it can be very tricky sometimes because of the motion controls here and there, but other than that though, it's not too much of a big of a deal in my opinion. But even then, so since I've managed to defend my castle, so ouch. Poor Inky though, he's doing very bad at the moment. Well, granted though, because I'm still stuck with the forms of the normal difficulty of those computer players, but I'm not exactly sure I'm ready for stronger opponents for this point yet, but I'll try to figure it out on my own time. And if I did manage to done this for myself on my own time, then I might as well up to the challenge or anything like that. I'm not exactly sure when, but for right now, I'm probably not going to do it right now, because even then, because I feel like trying to win those minigames is my key to winning and all that stuff. So anyways, let's go for 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7. To be honest, I might go for 7. In fact, luckily, we got ourselves a very slow rotating wheel spin as far as the actual dartboard, and that way I can able to easily obtain the 7 number, so that way I could able to actually stall Clyde's castle, no problem. So there goes Pinky into the forms of the cake factory. Oh no, the cookie factory. Sorry, I almost said cake factory for some reason from Mario Party 2, even Mario Party the Top 100. But we're not playing those 2 games yet. But even then, although technically we've already done a Let's Play of you know, Mario Party the Top 100 ever since recently for, I would say, for about 5 months ago at this point right about now, or technically 6 months for now, because even then though October is on its horizon, so well until tomorrow anyway. So anyways though, I've landed here, so expecting so, then things were able to be happening. Alright, though, so let's see what Inky's gonna get, and he might actually get himself his power cookie, so, well, good for him anyway, Jeez, he's got 4 of them, I realized, but that's the only opponent I need to worry about at this point, but other than that though, he might be not much of a threat. Oh, there's 1, or 2, do we get a 3rd one? I'm guessing, yeah. He's always go after my castle for that Clytus. Jeez, what were they thinking? Anyways, let's see what minigames we can play. Hoping some new ones here and there. In fact, we've only got 18 minigames left. Okay, so we got Holiday Hustle again. So, prepare ourselves the forms of decorating the Christmas tree again. Yeah, I have to keep doing that because even I know that, you know, kind of like how we did in Shake It Up from Mario Party 8. But, hey, we've managed to get all the way up to the top, and there we go. Even though, surprisingly enough, that's all in a red tree. I know because of how the fact that if you ever play as Pac-Man in this particular minigame, the star is actually yellow. So because of that, though, it makes a little bit more sense. But I think it all depends on the forms that the actual colors of the their own characters manage to have. So there we go. That's Holiday Hustle for a 2nd time in a row. And please begging for a new minigame, please. Okay, so we have this one again. So I'm presuming we've played this one before. Yeah, water bike wipeout. But again, take itself so easy, not so much extreme, because if you just manage to take yourself in extreme strategy, then you would easily spin out. Or not so much spin out, but you're pretty much out of bounds. So even then know that you weren't able to expect things over that anyway, so... Oh, come on. Ah, Inky beats me for about a split second. I think it's probably because of how the fact that I boost myself too much or something, although it might be something else, but oh well. No big deal, because of how the fact that I'm not usually titled defense or attack mode or anything like that, so I'm much well able to actually be fine with this. And as a result, then Inky is about to able to actually get himself his cookies back now. So, oh well, no big deal. No big freaking dealio. Alright, Battle 3. Let's see what we get this time. We have... Oh, this is a new minigame. In fact, it's actually quite a good one, actually. Puzzle Pizza Party. Draw dough to make a pizza. Get points for each pizza you cook. The player with the highest score wins. So you basically twirl around with the Wii remote and all that stuff in upwards, so that way you manage to create yourself your pizza. So, very self-explanatory right there, and I found this minigame to be quite easy compared to how it does it in Pizza Me Mario from Mario Party 9. Well though, except the fact that we don't have to worry about the topping system, so we just simply have to create as many of those pizzas as possible, and as a result, if you manage to create a whole bunch of pizzas, then you will be good to go. So that's all it usually covers for this for the most part though. So in fact, this minigame also reminds me of the forms of the minigame from Mario Party 8, but in forms of blazing lassos, but in forms of the actual like lassos, the forms of the cowboy item, stuff like that. Oh wow, everyone else is all entire at the moment, which I'm quite surprised. And there goes 1,200 cookies for Clyde right now, but because of the fact that my castle is quite high as it is, so now since I've managed to beat him with that level 1 castle, so that could transforming to ourselves into level 3 castle as well. So naturally I've got myself 2 level 3 castles at the moment, so that should be well enough, but even then, that could be something for this matter. Because yeah, another reason I just managed to able to take a little bit of a delay for this particular continuation of this game so far, because of how the fact that I'm usually playing this game for my own time for a moment, to able to actually go for story mode, just in case if I need to unlock everything for the most part, excluding the special courses for every single boards. And because of that, if I decide to do this that way, then I would able to actually just go ahead and just well, show you guys through every single part of the game, including the likes of the minigames themselves, and even some little bit of extra content here and there. In fact, there's no, it's not that much content here and there, aside from, just 5 game boards, and especially noticeable with just minigames in general, and even especially noticeable with the 3 classical games based off from Namco. So even then, though, that makes it very obvious from this point. So, anyways, though, we got a castle bonuses for both me and Pinky, because we land on the exact same castle spaces, so everything else all comes together. So, of course, we got ourselves another minigame to deal with right there. And if I remember correctly, we're actually going to come across into a new one, I think. But let's just see what happens. Yeah, I think this is actually a new one. Pack Belly. Destroy the machine by hitting balls back at it. Collect points for each successful hit. The player with the highest score wins. So, press the directional pad to move around with your character, and as you expected, press 2 to able to actually just hit the ball. So, that's very obvious with the actual control scheme in mind. But what I found is a little bit difficult with this minigame compared to the rest of the minigames has to offer is the fact that, well, much like in Dangerous Diamonds, is the fact that I found my hit detection when it comes to hitting stuff, even grabbing stuff as a result of this point too, my depth perception has gone pretty lacking sometimes because of how the fact that I swear I hit the ball correctly, but all of a sudden I really think about the fact that I just did not hit the actual ball back at him at the right amount. But also another thing too is the fact that the power cookie in this particular minigame is incredibly broken because of how the fact that if you really want to able to actually just decide to able to win for every single minigames has to offer, chances are your points will be doubled. So even then, that can get, you know, pretty broken at times, even by the forms if you ever play this with your friends and all that stuff, because, well, assuming if you want to able to actually save your power cookies as much as if you want to get into your least favorite minigames lineup, then be sure to able to actually just go ahead and do that. So, okay, so what I'm gonna go for is that I'm gonna go for 4 in case if I need to get into that lucky house again. So, but hopefully I've managed to go it. So there we go. And I don't know what I'm gonna do for Halloween for this year. As far as I've mentioned this before, I'm probably not gonna do my trick-or-treating or anything like that, other than I can just simply just go through like some haunted theme levels as far as I'm aware, especially with the forms of that specific what am I supposed to call it? Well, actually just playing through the haunted theme game boards. Like for instance, they've got one in obviously Boo's Haunted Bash from Mario Party 4, and especially Horrorland from Mario Party 2, and it's even especially noticeable with let's just say, oh, what's another horror-themed board I was thinking of? Oh yes, but the forms of, I would say King Boo's Haunted Hideaway, and also by the forms of, Boo's Horror Castle, and even Haunted Trail from Mario Party 10, and, I'm probably not gonna, well, I'm also able to include the handheld ones, well, mainly DS, Island Tour, and especially noticeable for Mario Party Star Rush in Toad Scramble mode, but that's just how I think it is. So, oh my god, 3 battles. Oh, please don't tell me we have another one. Okay, just only 3 battles. That's fine, but as long as I can able to actually just get these minigames done, so that way we could able to actually get a move on. So, I think this is actually also a new one. In fact, this minigame feels remarkably similar to Rumble Fishing from Mario Party 4, so even then I'm expecting a little bit of similarities here. Master Angler. Yeah, fishing time, pull up on your rod when you get a big bite. The fastest player with the largest fish wins. You only get 1 chance. So, yeah, just swing the Wii remote upwards until you're able to actually just fling up your fishing rod at this point. And also, because again, this minigame is so similar to Rumble Fishing, or Rumble Fishing from Mario Party 4. and you have to like time this thing at the right point. And because of that, I've managed to grow myself my bigger angular fish, or in this case, just a fish in general. Then I pretty much dominated for the most part when it comes to timing for that retrospect. I'm presuming if you're able to actually turn on the rumble feature and stuff like that, I think it might do the same thing for Mario Party 4 counterparts, but I'm not exactly sure, because I haven't really tested that out for myself, so even then I might as well able to pass on that. Alright, let's see what's next. Battle number 2. In fact, I think I missed count for how many minigames we've got left. Oh, okay, we got ourselves this minigame again. Sky Climbers. In fact, I believe we've only got ourselves about, let's just say, in fact, what I was doing, concentrate on this minigame here. In fact, we've only got about 15 minigames left before we're able to actually showcase off every single minigames all in this one particular run-through of the forms of Pac-Man Party in general. So, that's very surprising altogether, but again, in order to actually just play the unseen minigames for the most part, is the fact that, most of the time though, the minigame choices are pretty random, so even then though, that you can't really beg to able to actually pick the minigames you haven't played yet, or even especially noticeable how the fact that, well, you know. Yeah, I won again, even though as far as on screen, as you can see right there, I've instantly fell into the actual, like, pit below. But that's okay, because it still counts as a victory, but even then though still, I can really delta from that. Excuse me. Do apologize for that little, my throat's going on for that point, because, again, every time when I speak, sometimes my throat is going a little bit too blocky sometimes. So anyways, I believe we have a new minigame, or just the exact same minigame we've already played. Of course, the exact same one. Pac Golf. Alright, I'm guessing that Inky's gonna use his power cookie no matter what, which, speaking of which, he does. So I might as well able to actually get a hole-in-one, I'm assuming if I need to get that power cookie for as an addition. Boom! Hole-in-one! How about that? And that was actually pretty close for Inky, by the way, because even then though, he was off by 0.2 meters left. But, hey, on the plus side, I've still managed to conquer my victory for this point, so... Naturally speaking, we're actually on the halfway point of the actual Pac-Man Party Let's Play so far, because of how the fact that this is the third board we are doing, and naturally we've only got about 2 more boards left, which are, well, Crystal Cliffs after this, and after Crystal Cliffs, Celebration Avenue will be the final board of the actual game. So, again, it's not much in comparison to any other Mario Party games. Well, to be more exactly from ever will be, but it might be of a decent length of one out of that. So even then, you might expect it at this point in time for that point. So, you know.